Before I even get started on this video, I just want to say everything I'm about to say is based on my very limited experience in Japan and Korea. Spent 9 days in Korea and about 12 in Japan. So very short amount of time. So please take everything I'm saying with a grain of salt. And also, generalizations of entire groups of people is really dangerous. So try and stay away from that when you're watching this video. And just, pick and take little things from here and there and just be like, oh, okay. That's something else, and then go on to the next video. You know what I'm saying? Okay, alright. Now let's keep going.
YouTube, Tumblr, Facebook,
and most of the questions was about sex and my general overall appearance and being gay and racism. Well, this is where things get really difficult and complicated because in Japan and Korea, they aren't really exposed to a lot of black people. When Koreans see black people, they're like, yo, I only see you on TV, but you got that naturally textured hair. I definitely encountered some experiences while in Korea with questions about my blackness and what it means to be black and just like things of that nature. I did see a lot more black people in Japan, like a lot more like Nigerians and people from Africa. Most of the time I got questions asking if I was from like France, anywhere except America, honestly. Like they just, because I'm black, I'm not really American. Because all Americans are white people. The worst thing I probably had happen to me while I was in Korea as far as racism goes is I heard a Korean guy scream the N-word like across the street somewhere to a cab or something that almost hit him, and I was just like triggered. But then I realized there was really nothing I could do or say to him because I don't know fucking Korean. So I was just like, okay, well whatever, and I dropped it. Now as far as the boys go, I have to say in Korea, you couldn't tell me nothing. Everywhere I turned my damn head, it was just like bam, 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 damn. In Korea, the guys were definitely shy to talk to you, especially if they didn't know English. I will say they were a lot more outgoing and boisterous, especially when it came to, getting tipsy. As far as Japan goes, guys were a lot more shyer there and more reserved and kept to themselves a lot more. I didn't really talk to that many guys, but I met 3 guys. The 2 guys that I met in Korea both had an idea that I was trans, as they know it. So the first guy comes up to me, we exchange pleasantries. Then after that he asks me, oh, so are you a guy? And I'm like, and then I say yes. If he asks it now, chances are he probably already knew from the time he approached me. So he just stands back and he's just like laughing. Once he finally kind of gains composure and stops being like embarrassed or whatever, he like looks at my boobs. By boobs, I mean these. These are actually, this is like such a great padded bra. It's from Victoria. Anyway, so he looked at my boobs and then immediately like goes to touch my breasts. He tries to touch these fake ass titties on my chest. And I'm like, okay, so I'm telling you that, yeah, I'm a guy, so the first thing that you do is try to grab my titties. And as for the second guy, who knows? Maybe I'll make a story time. What were the gay cultures like? Can you compare / contrast them between Korea, Japan, and the United States?
Well, gay culture and LGBT life is just really underground in both of these countries. They also don't really have any legal protections against losing their jobs after coming out, so a lot of people are still in the closet, which is probably why you'll see a lot more foreigners than actual Korean or Japanese people in the gay areas of each country. In Korea, the gay district is called Homo Hill, and it's appropriately named because there are homos and it's on a hill. Now, while there aren't that many clubs there, the music is bumping. But in Japan, they have the most gay clubs in the world per capita. I think that's how you say it. Unfortunately, we could only really get into about 3 of them because I was told by my friend that you have to know like the owner and speak Japanese. And I don't do any of those things, so we couldn't get in. But the clubs I did get into were lit, and some of the ones that were most notable were Dragon and Arty Farty. And also this really friendly, amazing subscriber.
What's your name, honey? Harry. It's nice to meet you.
What did you miss the most about home? Honestly, I didn't really miss home that much, like really at all. If anything, the thing I missed the most was not having to separate my garbage, because you have to do that in Japan and Korea, and garbage bags are so expensive. We did not even buy not one garbage bag. It was just too much, too damn much. So we just sat all the garbage in the pile that was outside, and a guy went through and sorted that for us. So thank you.
Morning.
What was your favorite store to shop at in Japan and Korea? In Japan, I would say my favorite store is Spins. Girl, we bought so much. I even got my own members card, girl. So anytime I come back to Japan, you know what's about to be popping. Okay. As for Korea, we stayed right next to Hongdae, which has all the shops and everything, and it's just packed with a bunch of stuff. But I will say that one of my favorite stores while we were visiting was this place called Un, and they had a lot of like really crazy kind of cute outfits that you could wear. And Hyung Park, which is another store that Megan took us to, that had original outfits, and I bought one of their dresses there, and it was just, yes. It was so good. Was it hard to shop for clothes? I heard the sizes there are way off from American sizes. Well, I'm tiny, I'm small, I'm a very small guy actually. I'm very skinny. It wasn't as difficult as it was for my two girlfriends who are a bit more on the thick side, especially in that booty area. So a couple times they weren't able to buy things because it wouldn't fit around their waist or their breast area. Meanwhile, I'm flat chested and ain't got no booty, so I fit right in. The only thing I could not get my hands on were a decent pair of freaking shoes. A size 8 is like their size 10. Like they might have it, you know, but probably not. Woojang asks, who was the cutest Korean boy you met in Seoul?
You are. You've heard it here first. Woojang's about that life. Hey Woojang, what you doing today?
Tonight, I'm gonna be giving Miles some of that love. You know what I'm saying? Some of that yellow love.
Oh!
Eddie. What were some of the most immersive and enjoyable places you visited on your trip? One of the best things we did in Japan was go on the Japanese rickshaw ride in Asakusa. The rickshaw runners were such nice guys, and they took us around one side of Asakusa and gave us cool information about the towers and the buildings and all of the surroundings, as well as, you know, flirting a little bit and being like generally really cute. So it was really nice. And at the end of the trip, they dropped us off at a temple where we could walk around and take pictures. When you were there, did you understand the language? How did you talk to people? I know more Korean than I do Japanese. Like, I can kind of read Korean. Do I know what it says after I read it out loud? No. So as my friends were helping us navigate, I decided to take it upon myself to ask them some questions about like how to get around and say things and stuff like that. So I have a couple different phrases saved up in my phone. I don't know. It's like molayo. Where are you going? It's like odi kayo. Give me a discount. It's kakajuseo. Molayo is how much is this? So like just so that way I could navigate by myself when I was shopping and saying, you know, I need to be able to get discount. Like, girl, they were hooking us up. Those are some different phrases. Don't know if I was saying them right, but how much did you spend total for the entire trip? I'm planning on going to both Japan and Korea soon too, and I want an estimate.
Well, the trip was split between me and my two friends, Tima, Crystal, and me, the Kawaii Squad skirt. So the round trip airfare was $995.04, and that is not including the luggage, which was $30 there and back. We split our Airbnb costs between the three of us, and it totaled out to $790 each. As you can see, Japan is expensive. So we have our flight, which is $995 round trip, our Airbnb, which is $790, our luggage, which is $30 there and back, our train cab fare, which was $200. Do not take the cab from the airport. You will thank me later. Then we have prices for food, which is about $200, and then lastly, spending money, so that way we can get all the clothes and stuff, about $600. And altogether, it's about $3,000. So you better save up that money, girl.
What was the best thing you ate on your trip? The best thing I ate was actually a delicious curry cheese-filled patty. I'm just fucking with y'all. That gave me food poisoning. The best thing I ate in Korea was actually this old-timey Korean place that Megan took me to. And their side dishes were popping, and a bunch of food came out, and it was so cheap. Food was so cheap there. I was just like, And in Japan, it was just like a lot of sushi and ramen. It was delicious, but do I remember the names of the places? No. How'd you feel in Korea? Was it welcoming, or was it like another foreigner lost overseas type of thing? Oh girl, I definitely felt welcomed in Korea. But it was more so the fact that I knew people in Korea beforehand from the internet than, you know, actual Korean people. And also, given that I'm a public figure, I also had a meetup for all the people in Korea who wanted to see me. So it was overwhelmingly welcoming. But for other people who don't know anybody in Korea and are just like going there to visit casually, I don't know what to tell you. I really don't. Are there any new K-pop songs that you discovered in Korea and can't stop turning up to them now? Girl, you didn't know? They really don't be listening to K-pop over in Korea. Like, I didn't hear K-pop in not one of the clubs that I went to. Not a one. Not a one. They do be playing K-pop though in the streets of Hongdae, but do they? No. They don't be playing it anywhere else, that's for sure. When do you think you can come back home to Korea? Dies because I miss Miles so much. Come back home, girl. Girl, I miss you too. This is actually one of the people who came to my meetup. She was my home girl during that meetup. I was like, oh my God, who's that cutie with the shaved side? Oh my God. Hopefully I'll be able to come back to Korea maybe next year if I save up enough money. We'll see, because this year, girl, the Korea and Japan trip put me in a rut, girl. I was, oh. But if I do come back, I will be coming back for at least a month. At least. From your experience, what are your pros and cons for traveling to Korea and Japan? Cons. You're gonna lose a lot of money. If you're a foreigner, you're probably gonna feel a sense of like, whoa, everyone's not like me, and I'm definitely a minority, especially if you're Caucasian, because you know a lot of Caucasian people aren't used to being the minority, so when they get up in countries where everybody just don't look like them, they're just like, Korea's got the fastest Wi-Fi in the world. But good luck getting signed onto it, because all of the Wi-Fi connections are locked, bitch. Cheating is very prevalent. A lot of these girlfriends end up as beards. And if y'all don't know what a beard is, it is basically a girlfriend who is used to cover up the fact that somebody is gay, or just to be a figurehead and just say, hey, I have a girlfriend. The men are dogs. Basically is what I'm trying to say. But what else is new? All men are dogs. Pros. Guns are illegal there. So if you're black or worried about getting shot by the police, don't be. Isn't that great? Wow. Amazing, amazing, deliciously delicious, delicious food. Especially cheaper in Korea, but delicious nevertheless in Japan. Like, girl, hot guys. Hot guys in Korea. Some hot guys in Japan, but more hot guys in Korea. Like, an abundance of hot guys in Korea. But they're still trash, so just look. Your perception of the world will expand. And there's a possibility you can make new friends in a different country. And isn't that the coolest thing ever? Was Japan all you were expecting? Is it as magical and as awe-inspiring as anime portrays it? So, Japan was not what I was expecting at all. And I know a lot of people are saying, oh, you're a weeaboo, you're expecting a bunch of anime. No, girl, no. But what I was expecting was to see a lot more Harajuku girls. I was expecting to see a lot more gyaru. And even though I kind of knew it was dead, I didn't know it was like that dead. Like, girl, we barely saw any gyaru style, any pastel pink craziness, and we later figured out that it was basically reserved for a day. It's on Sunday or Saturday, I can't remember, but basically all the girls come out in their clothing and their garb and their lolita and whatever, and they go and just run amok in Harajuku, and we missed both of those days while we were in Japan. Lucky us! We didn't really catch a lot of people that were dressed like us, and when we did take pictures with them, so that was sweet, but it was just like, damn, like I thought that this was in style, but girl, in reality, this is how much you're seeing from Japan. Like, you see that? This little dot right here that I can see, like, it's enough. Like, you can kind of see it, but you're missing like the rest of the whole picture. Like, there is I was shook. What was it like to visit Japan/Korea as a Black LGBTQ person who dresses differently from the gender norm? Did you feel safe? Were people curious of you / did they stare a lot? Any rude people? And did you notice any differences regarding this between Korea and Japan? While I was in Korea, I do remember feeling like no one's really gonna care. They're just gonna see me as this really tall Black foreigner. But I did get some people who clocked me and they'd be like, namja, 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 namja. Namja means man in Korean. So as I walked by, I could hear them whispering namja. Girl, I know what you're saying, but I wasn't too pressed because when the fuck am I gonna see them ever again? I'm in Korea. I was having the time of my life. But I will say there was this one ajumma, and that's like old lady, an old Korean lady, and she comes up to me. She's just smiling. And you know that smile where you look at somebody and they smile at you and it's just like she knew something about me. Like she knew some shit. So she's just smiling like. And I'm over here staring at her. I'm like, what do you want, ma'am? Like, hello? She taps me. Namja? Yoja. I turn back around and just laugh. And then she taps me again. Namja. Yoja. And I just turn around and say, Yoja. Because I did not feel like being bothered. I didn't know what the heck she was up to. But if she was gonna cause some commotion, I was not about to have it. I had things to do. So yeah, I lied to her ass. I lied straight to her face. But besides that, my treatment as a gender nonconformist was the same there as it is here in America. A lot of staring, you know, not just because I'm a foreigner, but because, yeah, I look masculine as fuck. And also the constant whisperings around me of, oh my God, is that a man? Is that a woman? There's always gonna be that element to my life, like for the rest of my life. Whatever, they ain't paying my bills, so I ain't paying them no mind. So I will say, however, I did feel safe. Like I didn't feel like anyone was gonna come out and jump and attack me. Now in the club when a guy was hitting on me, I did feel like, oh, I don't know if they know I'm a man or a woman, so I'm just gonna slide away from this. So I would do that. But besides that, I felt pretty safe. Like I didn't feel like I was gonna get attacked in the middle of the street. I am just a weary person in general, so I kind of always like to keep my wits about me and be alert. In Korea, I recognized when people were talking about me a lot more because I understood Korean. In Japanese, not so much. If someone was talking about me, girl, I had no idea. I had much more pressing things on my mind, like where am I gonna eat? Whose dick am I gonna suck? But that was it for all the questions you had on my Japan and Korea trip. And if you have any other questions, girl, just watch the damn Miles Away vlogs. I don't have any more time to answer this stuff. It's been what, like 2-3 months since the trip ended, girl? I'm done. I'm done. Japan and Korea happened years ago practically, girl. It's done. Stop asking. We're moving on now. We're moving on. So thank you guys so much for watching. And until next time, it has been me, Miles J, and I'll talk to you guys all later. Bye.